What's up everybody, welcome back everyone to a brand new Planet Coaster 2 video. If you love this theme park build and want to see more awesome park designs, make sure to like and subscribe to the channel, it really helps me out. Now let's get straight into the video. First I want to go over everything I did off camera because trust me, a lot has changed. And when I say a lot. Now I'm gonna get into what I've done off camera. So off camera, which I have showed you in the beginning, I worked on the park overall terrain, making sure it wasn't, just a little too boring flat park. I added elevation to certain areas, just pathways, and cleaned up a little spots that looked a little too messy. I feel like adding terrain, makes the whole park feel a little more impressive and like a real theme park. It makes it, not everything is flat, and making everything flat just makes it feel like a little too lame. It just doesn't seem right. Now I'm gonna get into what I have started on a new flat ride, which is the type of the Scream and Swing. I think that's what the type is called. I'm not entirely sure what it is called, but that's what I think it should be called. It sounds about right. It kind of goes well with the type of ride it is. I wanted it to have like a cool setting, so I added water features. I don't think I did that in the video, but I'm not sure about that. And I made sure the ride sign was front and center, so it really stands out to the guests. So where it is, it's right on top of the door. Not on top, but like on the bottom, where the, everyone goes in. You see it right there where you walk by. There's the water, and then there's the sign right in front of it. It looks like that. Now let's talk about the queues for the ride. That was quite a bit of challenge. Honestly, it was very hard. I don't know why. I love Planet Coaster 2, and I love playing it, but making the queues is just so hard. I kept the queue for the Scream and Swing fairly simple. I did a couple of curved sections, but I didn't add much detail yet. I still need to figure out how to decorate around the area. And speaking of the queue lines, I struggle with making a perfect square layout. It's just tough to get them to look clean without a lot of tweaking. Frontier Games, if you're listening, please add a feature that lets us automatically make square queue lines. It would make my life so much easier. I'm sure some YouTubers want that too, even though some people are good at it, but not everyone. It's just sometimes quite a bit of challenging. Sometimes I cannot take it. It makes it look like my queue's just a little less pleasing. It's just not as fun as the way it used to be. It's just like a meh type of thing. Sometimes I just don't even like working on the queues anymore. Just more like the rides and the serenity, all that stuff. Now let's talk about the names of the rides and the theming part of the ride. I will be calling the flat ride the Demolisher. I thought that was a very good name for it. For the Aero Coaster, I put together a stand for the sign surrounded by the bushes to get that theme park feel. Kind of like the Six Flags Great America does it, like with their demon sign. It just makes it a little more feel kind of cool. And the big coaster in this area, for the Aero suspended coaster, I decided to name it the Reaper, inspired by Halloween themes and horror movies. I'm really excited about how the theming is turning out. I forgot to mention in the next video, but you guys will be able to see that I added a bunch of bushes, rocks, and stuff around that Aero suspended coaster. Aero coaster, so Does it look a little too boring? Because in that area it was just what, like all green and no bushes and no rocks and all that stuff. It looked kind of, a little too boring to me. I didn't really like it that much. Now I want to talk about the train track adjustments. As you guys see in that video, it doesn't really move, but you guys probably recognize it by now. So I realized that the train track was in a really, really bad spot. It was blocking the view of one of my favorite flat rides that I just made in this video, so I decided to move it. Now the track goes behind the ride, which you guys will be able to see in the next video, which makes the layout flow way much better. I'm still working on the perfect pathway layout around this area, but that's something I'll finalize later in the series. The train will go wherever, or wherever it feels like it should be going. I want it to go around the whole area of the park, but it's kind of tough to know where it's gonna go. We don't even have most of the park complete yet. I think I would probably say I'm probably almost halfway done. Probably. After this next coaster, we'll probably be halfway done. My last coaster, I believe it might be the RMC Hybrid coaster, or it might be the B&M Hyper or Giga coaster. That will be last. And then, not necessarily it will be the last video, but the last video I'll be focusing more on lights and at night, so I can make it a little more pop. Now let's talk about the Serenity and moving parts that Planet Coaster 2 has added, which is a new feature in this game. I started working on the Serenity around both coasters and rides, just adding little details to make the area feel a little more, complete. One of the coolest things I have implemented was moving parts near one of the coaster signs. I added a spinning axe. Yes, an actual spinning axe. It's gonna terrify me, like it's going to fly up and hit someone, but it kind of looks so funny. But it doesn't really go that fast where it looks like it's gonna fall off. But it just makes it look it kind of blends in with the Reaper, right? I think the Reaper holds like a weapon. I don't know if it's an axe or not, but I thought that was the best way to fit in with right next to the sign. It was my first time trying out the moving sequencers, and honestly, it turned out really cool, and it's really nice. I actually kind of like it. Now let's talk about the lighting setup. Another thing I worked on was the lighting for the ride signs. I didn't go overboard. I wanted to save some, dramatic lighting for later in the series, which I basically just talked about earlier in the video. I didn't want to use the fire style lights, so those will come later when I finalize it. What I mean by that is I did not want to. In the games, they offer like the lights that are, fire themed, but I didn't really want that. I'll think about it, what each lights or what type of lights fit in within each area, because I don't want to do the same lights over and over in the same area. It makes it kind of, I'm not that good with theming, but I just wanted to have that feel, something like that. Now, let's talk about my future plans and thoughts for this Planet Coaster 2 series and episode better. Alright, so that is everything I have worked on this video, but next time I'll be expanding the park even more. I actually need to add more bathrooms, restaurants, food courts, and more faculty buildings right now. My park is kind of lacking in these areas because everything is just, a little too spread out. I think I have one bathroom total, which is near the front entrance, and then one huge restaurant, one huge food court. It's kind of lacking those type of faculty areas, so I'm gonna start adding those right near the coasters itself, so I don't. Especially, I don't want all the coasters to be a little too close because the aero suspended coaster and the flip coaster look kind of a little too close to each other. Maybe that's why I should add a little more buildings in that area instead of adding the station close to the other one. It kind of doesn't really fit in. But I also don't want to make the areas too big, having more rush hours in one area and one in the other. It just doesn't. I want to have it at least, even out. Now, I also want to keep improving my realism and details with every part to make sure, so I expect more tweaks and refinements in the upcoming episodes, so keep out for that. As always, I really appreciate everyone watching. Make sure to like and subscribe to my planet. Make sure to like and subscribe for more Planet Coaster 2 videos just like this. Join my Discord, link in my description in this video, so we can build a community together and share more park ideas and more YouTube video ideas. It will be streaming soon since it's my summer, so I'll be able to stream more often. More likely, I'm not going to do it like every single day, but it'll more likely be at least once a week. Maybe twice, probably